Okay, our session is on recording, and tonight we are continuing from where we stopped our project management methodologies. So we've treated agile project management yesterday. Today we are going to continue from waterfall project methodology, and then finish on with Prince2. And I gave us assignments to download a copy of Scrum Guide and read it up. It's going to strengthen our knowledge on agile methodology. How many of us have started reading the agile Scrum Guide? How many of us?
I have started, sir.
That's very good. Well done.
Thank you, sir.
I have read it, sir.
I have started, sir.
Okay, that's good. We are doing well.
I've also started, sir.
So, yeah, is it making you feel like a Scrum Master?
Well, for me, it's just giving me a broader spectrum of all you've taught so far.
Okay, that's good. Try to do the test as well with that open Scrum.
Yes.
Even if you don't plan to do certification, try to play around with it. It's 30 questions at random. You answer it. You will know how much you've scored. That will help you to know your position. That's very good. Those who have not started, please do, because it's going to strengthen you and broaden your knowledge. So, yeah. All right. Thank you, guys. We are going to dive into waterfall. Waterfall is very simple, and if you've been in a project management all this while and you'll be doing a lot of projects, it's likely you are practicing waterfall because it's very simple, generic way of managing project. Even the project plan we're creating, all these things, we use them mainly in waterfall. Waterfall is the foundation of project management. We have so much respect for waterfall. In the traditional, is the legacy, but things are changing. That is it. So let's look at waterfall. As a matter of fact, it's not easy to migrate. So many companies are straight who wanted to migrate to agile, or that they struggle. So many companies are still operating in waterfall, and you should hold your knowledge of waterfall so dearly. So don't play around with it because we are moving to agile. Because you see all these project coordinators, project this and that, they are waterfall. Every young company that is starting, most of them are starting in waterfall. So that's why it's important. We are going to get more jobs for now, small project jobs like coordinator, project this and that in waterfall. The jobs in agile is going to be Scrum Master, Product Owner, and the rest of them. But if you go to waterfall, there's a lot of opportunities out there. So let me share my notes. Waterfall is sequential way of managing a project. That's why we talk about predecessors, we talk about dependencies. All those things are core activities in waterfall project management. So it flows like water. That's why we call it waterfall. That's the way it's flowing. It's very good, but it's so bureaucratic and it's so rigid. So that's why it's good to use it in a structured project that is more structured. Like if you go to building or construction industries where they build houses or things like that, they tend to use waterfall because these are simple structured projects. Building a house is very easy, very simple project. One of the simplest projects you can call is building a house. And that's what apply something like waterfall. But building a software is a complex. All these softwares we are using, we don't know how is the end is going to be. We keep trying different things and different things start coming out. That is project in complex environment, and it's very agile, it's very good. Scrum is very good for managing projects in complex environment. I want you to know that agile or scrum agile is extremely good for managing projects in complex environment. And what is complex environment? Complex environment is when you are managing a project, you do not know how the end is going to be. So many of us, when we started on Facebook, even the owner of Facebook, he didn't know that Facebook will become what it is today. He didn't know that Facebook is going to make him the most powerful man on earth. And he's still running. He still don't know how it's going to be. He never know that one day Facebook will start using AI in Facebook. You keep on unfolding and will keep on following the trend, even you, the owner. So you can start a small application and it becomes something else. There's this bank that is moving so fast, so call it Revolut, because a lot of young people are using it here in UK and globally. It's a very small, tiny application. They call it travel app, But today is moving fast. When the owner built that travel app, he never knew that travel app will later become what it is today. And that's it. It keep on evolving. That is complex product. But you see, you go to, let's say you make money, you go to village and build a duplex in village, and it's very simple. That duplex can never turn out to become mansion. Never. Is it possible? It's not possible. You become that duplex. Even if you start renovating it, remove the roof, the duplex is still duplex. So it cannot start. So it's a very simple project. You know the end of the project from the beginning. You know how it's going to end, and that is where the waterfall comes in. Waterfall is very good for structured projects, excellent structured projects. So, because as we're growing in this career, you might at some point have the opportunity to take decision to decide which project methodology to use. So, if you are in a construction industry, somebody just hired you. Nigeria, there's a lot of developers. The real estate is moving fast, and they just hired you. There's one of our she just finished, and one developer, estate agent, just recruited her to become their top project manager, and they are relying on her for a lot of information and guide. If you find yourself in such a situation, they will want to know which one are we going to use. You tell them, yeah, based on this is what we need. We need most of the the building, is better to run it under Waterfall. But if tomorrow they want to build a mobile app where people can come and start looking for houses or things, then you tell them, well, it's better we do this in agile environment. Let's use Scrum to do that. So that's why it's important for us to understand. Okay. Waterfall methodology is a sequential project management approach that divides the project into life cycle, into distinct phases, with each phase completed before moving to the next. The phases typically include requirement gathering, design, implementation, testing, and maintenance, and each phase relies on deliverables produced in the previous phase. Can you people see that what we are doing is in Waterfall? Are you agree with me? If you look at our project plan we created all this while, is it not in Waterfall? It's in Waterfall, because you look at the project plan, you see dependencies. We use predecessors, where the first one we finish before we can start the next one. The next one, then before we start another one. And that is Waterfall, you know. So it's sequential. We have been on it. So we have to understand what we are doing. And in our own project, we are going to use a collection of the two approaches. We'll continue to use Waterfall within the first two stages or two phases. At the third phase, we integrate Agile there. It's allowed, it's 100% allowed. It's not a crime for you to mix two projects. When you combine Waterfall and Agile, we call it Wagile. It's not an official name, but it's the guy name. We call it Wagile when we are using to, it's hybrid. So, and that's what some smart project managers are doing. Most of all these methodologies, they have their weaknesses. Waterfall, their own weakness is over planning and rigidity. Bureaucracy is so stiff. That is the weakness. And Agile is weak planning. Their planning is weak. They don't have thorough planning. You see, product owner will just go gather requirements, prioritize it in a backlog, and work starts. So because of the weaknesses of the both of them, so many of them combine it together, bring the best in Waterfall, bring the best in Agile, combine it, and it become a perfect solution for you managing your project. Okay, key phases of Waterfall methodology. We'll have requirement gathering analysis. Requirement gathering and analysis is what we call initiate stage. When you are trying to initiate the project, you try to gather requirement on that. When you are gathering requirements, you are trying to understand stakeholders' need and their expectation. After gathering them, you must have understand their need. And after understanding their need, you need to carry a thorough analysis. That is requirement gathering analysis is the first phase, initiate stage. In the requirement phase, project stakeholders define and document project objectives, scope, and requirements. The requirements are typically gathered through interview, workshop, and documentation review, and serve as the foundation of the subsequent project phases. After the first phase, we go to the second phase. We call it in our framework we are using, which I share with you, we call it define stage. This is the time you have to break a plan. We call it planning stage, define stage, or design solution design. This is time you break everything down. If you are working on IT, you convert all those technical business requirements into technical requirements. You get user stories and acceptance criteria. You get wireframe. You get test cases. You capture use cases, use case diagram. This is the time you create all those stuff within this defined stage. So in defined stage, the project team develop detailed design specification and architectural plan based on the requirement gathered at the previous phase. The design phase often include activities such as system architecture design, user interface design, and database design. Everything architectural designing, this is where at the time we call business analyst, technical business analyst, because it's most of the things we are doing here is technical. It's not the first one you call business analyst a business analyst, because everything you do is gathering business requirements, analyzing business requirements, documenting business requirements. But in design stage, you are designing requirement, technical requirement. All the solution you've selected during the initiate stage, this is the time you design the solution you want the developers to build at implementation stage. So you see how it's sequential. You can't jump into design, because what you gathered in the requirements gathering in the first page is going to be the foundation for you to do the second stage, which is design. And you cannot jump design and come to implementation. You need to thoroughly plan. You need to thoroughly design before you start building. That is implementation stage. You see how sequential it is. After implementation, that is building. After building, you have to test before you start going to the market. You see, that is sequential approach. So, implementation stage, in the implementation phase, the project team translates the design specification into executable code or tangible deliverable. So if you are building a software, that is the time you start, the software start coming in, the code, you start putting the code together, integrating the piece of code, and they will start becoming a reusable product, a usable software we are seeing. We can download in our system, we can download in our phone and start using it after this stage. So the implementation phase involves coding, programming, configuration, customization, and integration of software components and systems. You put everything together. So it's not only development is not only programming. It involves configuration. In so many enterprise applications, you are not even going to create any piece of code, but you need to be experienced in configuration. It's not at times it's not easy to do the configuration. So it's still part of development. Configuration and then customization. If you are buying a SaaS application, software as a service like Dynamics 365 and the other like SAP and so many of them, you need to customize it. It's a white label. You need to customize it to your company's taste or the organization's need. And then integration. So many softwares, you need to integrate them together to work very well. So many of them do not work in isolation. So integration comes in for them to work very well. For instance, if you most CRM system, if you want it to work in an organization very well, if the organization have an ERP system, it's very good that the ERP and the CRM need to be integrated for seamless data communication. After all this building, configuration, customization, and integration, you don't just deploy. You test. You have to carry out testing. You see the way it's flowing sequentially. Like, that's why you call it waterfall. In the testing phase, the project team verify and validate the functionalities, performance, and the quality of the project deliverables. Testing activities may include unit testing, integration testing, system testing, user acceptance testing, and regression testing. So all these, we're going to talk about it and create a test plan in business analysis, but because it is not the project manager that does all this. This is the duty of business analyst. If we have a quality assurance officer, he should be the one in charge of testing. In the absence of that, it should be the business analyst. Here, in the requirement gathering and analysis, it involves a lot of other activities, which we call the initiate stage. You know, most of the, if we break this stage down, it involves a lot. Where both project manager, business analyst comes in. In the design stage, if we break it down, it contains a lot. Where project manager, business analyst comes in. So in every stage, they still have a way to do. During the design, we create test plan here. We create all these test plan here. Yeah, it's part of the designing. But this is where we start using the test plan as test immediately after implementation. We combine this implementation and the testing into one phase, and we call it execution stage in our own framework. All these things we combine together. After testing and everything is good, deployment. Yeah, in our own is part of the execute. So even this deployment is part of the execute. We merge all of them to become execute. Yeah, and part of the execute, after deployment, we close the project, and after closing the project, maintenance follows. You know, this is the way waterfall runs. Like, you see, everything is sequential. You can't come and start maintaining a software that is not deployed. You cannot come and start deploying a software that is not tested. You see that everything we have been discussing here has sequence. This is the predecessors, and that's how we have been doing it even in our project plan we've created. If you look at it very well, you see that it follows sequential way, and we're using key terminologies like predecessors, dependencies to signify that this is waterfall. Okay, where do we capture agile if we want to weave them together? So at this stage, from implementation, testing, and deployment, we can capture agile. All this, we can do this under Scrum as well. So we can do it under Scrum. And here as well, design in agile is not that so structured, but here with the Scrum, the product owner can go gather requirements and just create a product backlog. And that's it. It starts implementing immediately. And you can equally go gather requirement, but it's not structured like this waterfall, the way waterfall is structured. It's not structured. So in so many cases, during the sprint review, you find out that that is when the product owner is gathering requirements. They are waiting for stakeholders to make judgments or give feedback based on the work they've done. And during the sprint review, they can gather more requirements. So it's a different way of working from this waterfall. Waterfall is more organized and more structured. Benefits of using waterfall. Waterfall is clear and structured project progression through predefined phases. Well-defined requirements and deliverable at each stage. Everything is well planned. Suitable for projects with stable and predictable requirements. Easy to understand and manage for stakeholders unfamiliar with agile practices. Challenges: limited flexibility, is not that so flexible. Limited flexibility to accommodate changing requirements and priorities. Yes. Doesn't mean that it does not accommodate changes, but you have to go through due process. All these due process, going through a board, change a committee board, and before a change can be done. In agile, you don't have to go through all those rigorous process. It's a rigorous process because you might end up spending 1 month trying to get approval. It will start affecting your project timeline. Limited stakeholder involvement and feedback until late in the project life cycle. You see here, unlike in agile, if agile you are using two weeks sprint, after every 2 weeks sprint, you must invite stakeholders to demo what you've done. You finish a part of the work, you need to demo to them. But in waterfall, there is no standard room for you to invite stakeholders that way, because most of the time the project needs to be completed before you can come and demo the outcome of. You can't come and be demoing stages just the way you do in agile. Boys, we can use our own ingenuity, create a reporting session, how we report to the stakeholders on a periodic basis, but it's still not like agile. Okay. High risk of project failure if requirements are misunderstood or misinterpreted. You see, in agile, the team make out time for constant grooming, refinement. They keep on talking about their refinement. They keep on talking about grooming, refining it, making sure that everybody understands it. And this gives them room for find if there is any risk, they can find a way to mitigate. Equally, there is what we call daily stand-up in Agile, where they talk about their risk every day. In Waterfall, there is nothing like that. There's nothing coming to talk about risk every day. There is nothing coming to refine requirements as a team all the time. So this left room for risk. If the project manager is not experienced enough to create a situation like raid meeting to become statutory, to happen every week, it's going to be difficult for them to capture risk. And so these are some of the risks we have within Waterfall. Difficulty adapting to unexpected changes and challenges during project execution. Waterfall is reflecting to changes. We already talked about it. It's very difficult. You have to go through rigorous processes. You know, for instance, you are working and there is emergency like COVID and they shut everywhere down. You cannot just find a way to change your approach or do things differently. You must have to go through normal process, submit your registration before you get up. You must get approval in a lot of things, because those things are not anything you are doing that is not in the project charter. It doesn't work. Does not work. But in Agile, the product owner can say, let's stop. He can say, let's start. He is very flexible. There is nothing like project charter in Agile environment. Throughout the years, they were talking about different events and different things. Did we talk about project charter? We didn't talk about project charter, but it's important. You see where we use project charter is during Waterfall. But if you want to use some of those key documents, then you have to merge the two together, the two project approach together, to make sure your project is top notch. It doesn't lack anything within project management, because there is no law who stated that a company must use a particular this or that. If the company will decide how they are using it. If you are combining it, if you are not breaking any law. So conclusively, Waterfall methodology offers structural sequential approach to project management suitable for projects with stable, well understood requirements. While the Waterfall methodology provides clarity and predictability in project progression, it lacks flexibility, adaptability required to address rapid changing business environment and evolving customers' need. We know that customers' need these days is something else. It's crazy to satisfy customers these days. is the most difficult thing because too many choices, too many choices, and you need to be on top of the game before you know it now. For instance, I just ran and saw one content creator complain that so many, for you to maintain them, to all your fans to be happy, you need to be evolving. Within a second, boom, boom, all of them, they are your customers. With just a click of button, you don't lose that customer. That view don't jackpot. So they are need, as they are unfollowing you, they are following another person immediately. That's it. These days, people can just delete your bank, your application and download another. Can you leave OP and join Money Point the following day? That is it. Their need is too much, and so you must be flexible. As they are changing, you are already changing. But if you are not flexible, you are going to lose them. So that's why we tend to combine them where necessary, or use whichever one we feel that is better for us. If you are dealing with customer environment, it's better to use Agile because it tends to focus on satisfying customers. But Waterfall don't care about customers. They will have one product in mind, like Coca-Cola. Them, these are the people that started these businesses. Some of them, they don't care about what you like. You just produce something big. They believe you will like it. You see Nokia. Nokia used to be the giant. They use Waterfall. They will just produce 3310, zoom into the market. No review, no nothing. But when Apple came in, Apple introduced Agile. As Apple is, as we are using, Apple is busy gathering feedback. How do you feel this and that? People talking about it. Before you know it, you see iPhone 1, iPhone 2, iPhone 3, based on all the 2, 3, 4 is based on what customers need. What you say during the review, that is what they do it. But Apple, Nokia, they didn't do all those things. They find out that people tend to like touch screen. They started doing it. And they will ask you, between touch screen, the people keep on commenting, we want it this way. As people want it, that's where they give it to them. The way they want it, they give it to them. And people like Waterfall, people like Nokia, they started doing Hardman. Do you know when we started this? We have been here for long, like this London, some people will come and will tell you, I've been in London for how many years? And you see small boys who are just coming into London. They will go and learn IT. They learn IT. And you will be telling them, now we get this London. You still they do construction job, they do labor job. After now, we day here. Even before they born your mama, we day here. And all these young boys, they learn IT. They become project managers. They have their own IT companies. And the old men will be here before they born their mama, go down, for their company, they do labor job. So you need to be on top of the game for you to do this. So okay. Let's talk about Prince2. This is Prince2. Prince2 is a UK project methodology. Somebody like me, this is where I started project management journey when I wanted to do Prince2 certification. Then we'll have Prince2 foundation and Prince2 practitioner. If you have a lot of people will get foundation, they even with foundation those days, you make it, but like me, I've never heard about, I don't know anything about project management. I don't know anything. I've not even started my master's there. I just came in and I'm IT. Then when I was coming here, I've been, packaged my mindset towards IT. So even before I go for my master's, I've already wanted to do something for myself. So I joined into Prince2. And as I entered uni, my DC started opening up. I started hearing about other project management approach and this and that. But then this is when this Prince2 is reigning. And Prince2 is projects in controlled environment. In controlled environment. So it's a structured project management methodology developed by UK government to provide common framework for managing projects effectively. Prince2 is based on 7 principles, themes, and processes that guide project planning, project execution, control throughout the project life cycle. Let's look at the key principles of this Prince2. Prince2, number 1 is continued business justification. What is continued business justification? Return on investment. Every project must continue to be viable. It must continue to, you can't at any point and say that the project is, the project must be viable. Even at the closing stage, you must make sure that it's still viable. Whatever you need to do to make sure that that project remains viable, continue to do it. So Prince2 project must have a valid business case that justifies the investment of resources and effort. The business case outlines the expected benefits, costs, risk, and return associated with the project. And that's where we'll come up with cost-benefit analysis, business case. Prince2, they kind of modified agile in their own way. They are trying, even up till now, they are trying to bring agile into Prince2. They are not resting. They call it Prince2 Agile. And there is certification on that going on already. So that is Prince2. There must be justification for projects. The project must always be viable. The return on investment must be visible. Learn from the experience. They don't play with experience learned from the project. That is lesson learned. This is where lesson learned comes in. You must learn. So Prince2 encourage project team to learn from their past projects, both successes and failures, and apply lesson learned to improve project planning and execution. Define roles and responsibilities. Prince2 defines clear roles and responsibilities for project stakeholders, including project board, project managers, team members, and the project support role, ensuring accountability and ownership. And we see we've done projects, we use RACI metrics to do the defining roles and responsibilities. These are all the works of Prince2 trying to, add value to the existing waterfall. And even in Waterfall, there are now everything the Prince2 try to all the principle, they are applying it everywhere now. So Prince2 is very, very good. Although Agile is trying to shake everybody, but Prince2 is well organized as well and regulated. Managed by stages. Prince2 divides the project life cycle into manageable stages, just like every other project, known to manage stages, which predefined objective, deliverable, and review points. Each stage must be planned, monitored, and controlled to ensure progress and quality. Managed by exception. Prince2 empowers project managers to make day-to-day decisions within predefined tolerance, but requires escalation to higher authority if tolerance are exceeded or issue arise that cannot be resolved within the project manager's authority. So you enjoy some level of authority to make day-to-day decision. That's empowered you to do that, like project charter empowers you to take day-to-day decision, but you must escalate issues appropriately when there is need for escalation. Prince2 focus on products. Prince2 emphasizes the importance of defining and managing projects, deliverable known as products. Throughout the project lifecycle, the product must be defined, approved, and delivered according to predefined quality criteria and standard. So they don't play with quality control. Most cases where they are using Prince2, you must see a quality assurance personnel there. Tailored to suit the project environment. Prince2 is adaptable and scalable, allowing organization to tailor its principle, theme, and processes to suit specific need, complexities, and context of individual projects. That's where they started imitating Agile. In some projects, you tend to be flexible, and that's why Prince2, we say that Prince2 like a hybrid of Agile, sitting in between Agile and Waterfall, and is more defined and regulated. As a matter of fact, most projects in most government projects, they will always, even if they are not so strict about it, they will always say you must have knowledge of Prince2. Some will insist you have you must be Prince2 satisfied. I say government project, not every project. Government project. So many companies, they use Agile. Companies use Agile. So many companies use what about Prince2? And this is where they started losing relevance because of there's so much stress on you must be certified. You must be Prince2. A lot of people, that bureaucracy, people are not patient enough, and that is the environment we find ourselves. We are living in an environment. They say environment, and they are not failing to. This is where they are not getting it, because they fail to understand that this era, people living in this era are people that doesn't have patience. You know, all the people in this era, they don't have patience. They don't. And that is the pro. So you must understand, and that's why Prince2 started living losing. Everybody is on, like here, everybody, they're always on they're in a hurry. Everybody's in a hurry. They don't want that kind of so structured, so they don't want it. Government companies as well, they want flexibility. People don't want control, so much control. The people want to be free. They want, the people of this, they love their freedom. Being of Prince2, business case. If you look at the project template I gave to you people, you see business case is very important. As a matter of fact, everything we do in the stage, we must come out with a clean business case. That is justification why why must this project go on? Why? Is it necessary? And that is it. Like now, let's say a family using this Prince2 or this approach, you want to, the family is rich, you want to build a house in all the cities. As a family, why? Is it for business? Well, a lot of these rich men, they want to have a house in, let me use, I'm from Enugu State, and I'm from Osoka. They want to have a house in London. They want to have a house in Abuja. They want to have a house in Lagos. They want to have a house in Enugu. They want to have another house in the village. And they are not commercial houses. That's the way they want to show that they are rich. Is it necessary? What is, if you want to apply business case here, what is the value? What is the justification? Is it what are you driving? Because most of them you build them and that's that way. You are living like so many of us are doing here in UK. I will see so many of us, they don't even have mortgage here. They don't have mortgage here in the UK. They will go down to the village and build a very big mansion in the village. What is the justification? As a young person growing up, you should be able to look at where to build a house is. Even if you don't want to build it here in the UK, you find a city and build a house so that it becomes a backup for you. If anything happens, you can easily sell that house and start, or even if you have a very good job, you can sell off the house and start another business. Any house you build in the village, that house is waiting for you. Is the only thing is burial, either your own burial or your parents' burial. That is the only time you are going to go down to that village house to live there. As you are there, you are already fearing. You don't want to even stay 1 week. They want to kill you. You run, film back to Lagos or to abroad, and you spend everything as a youth building mansion. Who is living there? Your mama. Very soon your mama and your papa will die and the house will be there. And you even be scared of coming to live there because they want. Why will you go and build a house where you are scared they are going to come and kill you? Well, build the house where you are not scared now. So it's because we don't reason very well. We don't apply very well. If you build that kind of house, a mansion in the city, if you find out you can't live there, you can just convert it to Airbnb. You start generating money. You can convert it to hotel. You start generating money. But if you go to, I'm not discouraging us to go and build house in the village, but make sure you have a business or something like generating money. Not you are sweat as a young man. You start building a house in the, for me, when I have a house in, I'm not trying to say, but because I have a house, but I don't have mansion in the village. So when you are beginning to get old and you want to go retire and you have enough money, then you build it where you are going to, if you want to go to rest, not where you. So just bring this business case. I want us to apply it in other area. In other businesses, it must be able to be justified. What is the justification? That is what Prince2 is teaching us here. Justification, business case. So then organization define clear rules and responsibilities. Everybody must not, people must not struggle in a project to understand what they've come to do. Some people will get a job and they don't even know what they are doing, what they've come to do in that job. It's because we don't have good organizers, good project managers. They don't understand their rules and responsibilities. You must have a clear defined rules and responsibility and reporting structure. So that is raising metrics. We've done that. That is what Prince2 is teaching us here. Quality. Establish quality criteria, standard process to ensure that project deliverables meet stakeholders' expectations. Almost every of them have quality control measure. Plan. Develop a comprehensive plan to guide execution and monitoring. Yeah, even Waterfall have a good plan. We must have a good project plan. All of us here should know how to create a project plan. Risk. Identify risk, assessing, mitigating, and minimization of the impact of the risk. So that's why we have risk management methodologies like capturing risk, having risk plan, or capturing risk and documenting them using red log or risk register. Change. Managing changes to project scope, requirement, and deliverable to ensure alignment with stakeholders' need and expectation. Prince2 equally believe in clear change management, like the one will have a change control board in any project. Progress, monitor progress, reporting projects progress against the baseline plan and schedule, budget, and quality criteria. And we've done that before. Project reports, statutory reports. These are things that Prince2 wants you to understand very well and integrate it in your project. That is the way they believe a project. All these are basic things, documentation, activities that should be part of the project according to Prince2. Within Prince2's guidelines and the theme, these are the things they want to see. Process of Prince2. Starting up a project, initiate the project, defining the objective, scope, approach, appointing the project management team, directing a project, providing oversight and governance of the project, including authorizing project initiation, approving stages, and monitoring project progress. Initiating a project. Establish a detailed project plan, including the business case, project management approach, and project initiation document. Is in call it PID. you must come up with a project initiation document. Controlling a stage. Monitoring and controlling project progress, managing issues and risks, and reviewing stage performance against planned objectives. We must control. Managing project deliverable. Managing the development and delivery of projects product according to predefined quality criteria and standard. Managing stage boundaries, reviewing project progress, updating plan, and obtaining approval to proceed to the next stage. I believe you must get approval that the first stage is completed before you move to another stage. And closing a project, you must come with a project closure report, reviewing project outcome, capturing lesson learned, hand over project deliverable to stakeholders. So if you look at the project template I gave to you, project framework template it mirrors more like Prince2 approach, but we combine other approaches as well, because like I said, it's not a crime. So if you are going out for what they want to know, the hiring manager they want to understand your knowledge of project management. There is a key areas when you start highlighting the notes. Yes, you really know project management, not just that you are a Scrum Master alone, or not just that you know project management very well. Benefits of Prince2: provide a common framework and language for managing projects effectively. Emphasize on continuous business justification and stakeholder engagement. Promote clear role, responsibilities, accountability for project stakeholders. Flexible and adaptable to suit various project size, project type, size, and context. Encourages learning from past projects and applying lesson learned to improve the project outcome. It comes with its own challenges. Prince2 requires formal documentation and governance process, which can be time-consuming and bureaucratic. Yeah, they have this bureaucratic over documentation, just like in Waterfall. May not be suitable for projects with high uncertainty or rapid changing like Agile. Relies heavily on upfront planning and may struggle to accommodate evolving project need and priority. Requires training and certification for project managers and team members to effectively implement Prince2. This is what a lot of people do not like about Prince2. Then with this certification, you can train. And what we are doing here is training, but we're not this certification. A lot of people, like so many people here, have trained here, are very big project managers now. They don't have even a single certification. None. It's what will this boot camp, that's the only thing. I've seen someone who has been working for 5 years now. It's now that he just trying to tell me I want to do my PMP. You know, you just feel like it. But there is no like they are pushing her. You just want to, because you've got the money now, and she believes when she want to become answering a senior project manager, and they say that she got some of these certification, it will be easier for her to be very comfortable as a senior project manager. But like it doesn't, but in Prince2, anything you need to do, you must have certification. It must be at least Prince2 Foundation or Prince2 practitioner. That's what they are looking for, practitioner. So, but a lot of people, a lot of companies, once you can demonstrate you have good knowledge of project management and not good knowledge experience, they will hire you, whether you have certification or not. But so many government projects, if you don't have Prince2, they are not even, that is bureaucracy. No matter how good you are in project management, they want to see this certification. In conclusion, Prince2 offers structured and process-based approach to project management, providing organization with flexible, adaptable framework for managing projects effectively. Embracing Prince2 principle, team, and processes, organization can improve project governance, stakeholder engagement, and project success rate, ultimately delivering value to stakeholders and achieving the project objectives. So that's what Prince2 is all about. Nothing there, nothing less. The only thing more you want to know about Prince2 is if you want to be certified, if you want to take your certification, you have Prince2 Foundation, you have Prince2 Practitioner, and now as time are changing, now they have a Prince2 Agile. It wasn't there before, but it's now here now called Prince2 Agile. That's it. So I think at this point you understand how different projects management works. But in most cases, all the deliverables documentation will be learning. In one way, you will still have to need to apply them. You are going to need them, all of them. So that's why I say, let us not dwell on methodologies. Let's learn it first. And when we start working in whichever way, whichever documentation we know all of them, we can start applying them. So that's it. So you are either going to be combining them, you're either going to be using one of them, whichever one, you should be able to be part of the team without struggling. So that is it in project management. We are closing project management here. If you have a question, you can answer a question. That's all about project management. Every other thing you want to know about project management is theories for you to just know more theory. But in terms of practicability of project management, that's it. There are so many tools, but whichever tools you are going to use, we must have treated it in a one tool. Just like if you want to use project Microsoft, you already know how to use project labor. And the only thing where we need to do hands-on is collaboration, and then deliver a live project, and that's what we're starting. So tomorrow we're going to start our project. So yeah. So while we are starting the project, we will start onboarding team members in their various group. We will start onboarding, and let's manage it and see how it goes. And that's it. So I don't think I'm owing you anything that will stop you from managing your projects you are going to start effectively. So all those things you've been ready to show, when you're ready to showcase yourself, you showcase it in this project. And next week, we're starting business analysis, because there's still a lot of things we need to learn in business analysis, like all these requirements gathering, requirement analysis, this and that. We're still going to need them in this our project. So while we start this project, by the time we finish with, we're working on project brief, stakeholder analysis, project requirement, kickoff meeting, and before we finish that, we must have started consuming some deliverables in business analysis. So by the time we are going to be needing knowledge of business analysis, we must have covered a lot in business analysis. So yeah, and we are still on time. I will make sure we don't exceed our timeline in this project. So if you have questions, I'm here for you. If you don't have, I'll be very happy to leave you and join my next class. Yeah. All right.